Tuesday, Frank Rock, House of Orange Sports Channel. Welcome to episode number 200. 200, baby. Woo! Let's go. Now, this does not include live shows or shorts or anything like that. This is just as far as, videos covering football, baseball, basketball, men's and lady vols along the way or anything else that may have come up. But episode number 200 is not possible without you guys that are out there, men and women out there that are supporting this channel who have helped grow this thing in 6 months to, well over 1,200 subscribers at this point. Pretty awesome what's been going on. And this thing keeps building a little bit at a time. This thing's in baseball mode right now. Let's get right into this thing. College World Series Friday night. First thing I need to do is make a major correction to yesterday, a couple of you, and I appreciate you guys pointing that out to me. I don't know if it's a case of they've changed the format or if I confused it with the SEC tournament, but the College World Series is indeed double elimination all the way up till the championship series, and then it's a best of three on it. I was thinking for some reason, and maybe I'm just totally wrong and confused it on it. I'll own it. I did not double check it, and I apologize on that. It is kind of embarrassing, to be honest with you, because I do pride myself on being right on what I do and what I tell you. And I was off on this one, but it is double elimination because if you get to, let's say Tennessee wins their first two, let's say they beat Florida State. Florida State comes back through. Florida State beats them and, 3 games into their bracket, and there would be an if necessary game. So it is indeed double elimination. Again, thank you to a couple of you guys who pointed it out to me. I looked and it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I've got to do better than that. So I do apologize on that. It is kind of embarrassing and kind of aggravating that I didn't do my homework better on that. But episode 200, let's rock and roll. Tennessee, Florida State. I got to think, I titled this thing Revenge Against Link. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sure most of you do at this point, especially if you've listened to this channel. Link Jarrett, Florida State's coach. It's not that he's a bad guy or a jerk or nothing like that. He was Notre Dame's coach 2 years ago who put Tennessee out in that, at the time, school best team in school history at that point in time. Again, it's not that he's a bad guy or nothing like that. It's none of that. It's just that, he come in and he did what he should have done. He did his job and led a Notre Dame team to an upset of Tennessee, got them to the College World Series. He is, I'm pretty sure, an FSU alum, played at FSU, and then when they come calling, he went home. And Florida State is one of the, I've had some outlaw moments on here talking about when I've seen Texas and LSU as, why wouldn't Tony Vitello consider those jobs based on their history? Well, Florida State's up there as well. Florida State has had a great history in college baseball as well. It's so Jarrett, the fact that he took over, he's already got them back to Omaha. He's a heck of a coach. He is a heck of a coach. Let's make no mistake about it. But coming in this weekend, at this point, are there any easy games? No, I don't think there are even at any point in the NCAA tournament. I wouldn't classify any of the teams Tennessee has played as easy teams to beat. Okay. Well, it's definitely not getting any easier this weekend. Florida State, a very good team. They're coming in. They were the 8th overall seed, if I'm not mistaken, in this thing. And looking at it, I've got to think on Friday night, 7 p.m. ESPN, they've kind of been pitching a little bit differently, but I cannot help but think they'll go against Florida State's ace, who is Jamie Arnold. Cannot help but think that. 2.77 ERA, 1.03 whip, 11-3 on the season. He's thrown 102 innings, 155 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting 216 against him. He has a left-handed pitcher. I was watching some highlights on him. He throws about mid-90s. He can get up above 95, and he's got a pretty mean slider that's mid to high 80s. So One thing I like for Tennessee is the way they've been hitting left-handed pitching lately. They've been hitting it very good. Now, have they faced a Jamie Arnold? I don't know that they have. He's one of the best pitchers in college baseball right now. So they'll have their work cut out for them. But, you're always going to have your work cut out for you when you get to Omaha. They saw it a couple years ago against Virginia. They saw it last year. You go up against Paul Skeens right out of the gate. I mean, what more would you expect? Any of these teams you face, they're going to have an ace going against you. And is it possible Tennessee could possibly see Jamie Arnold twice? I think it is. I mean, regardless of who wins Friday night, if the loser gets back through it and wins that third game, I think it's game 11, technically in the College World Series, they get to game 12. I would think you could possibly see your Friday night guys again. Of course, for Tennessee, I don't think Tony Vitello changes anything at this point. We've debated should he stick with Stamos or not. He's not going to change it, nor should he. That's what's gotten you here. You just got to be really, I think, weary of what Stamos is throwing. If he's striking outside in the first, I mean, how can you pull him at that point as good as he looked? But AJ Causey will be ready. I've seen people say he should start Causey. No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. Ever since Causey, they've gone to this with Stamos leading off, him the opener, and Causey come out of the bullpen. Causey's been lights out. He has been lights out. He's pitched excellent the last 2 weekends where Stamos has kind of struggled at some point in his outing. I'm not going to say out of the gate, but at some point, and Causey has come in and, got the job done and kind of stabilized things where that offense could take control on it. I saw a stat today. Somebody said, I think they had counted up Tennessee's, was it 32 postseason home runs right now? And they said that based on distance, 26 of them would have been out of the stadium in Omaha this week coming up. So, will it play different? Yes. Will it be a more of a pitcher's park? Yes. The key to me, though, for Tennessee, and it's been an issue the last 2 times they've been, I cannot remember back, earlier in the mid-2000s and 90s how they did start now. But I'm thinking even then, Tennessee's had a hard time getting out of the gate, getting that win to start off with. It's put them in a hole immediately. And, they beat Stanford last year, got back to LSU, and, they were not able to do anything with that. But, coming out of it as well, talk about Jay Arnold for Florida State. He is their guy. He is their dude. Their best reliever, Brennan Oxford, 2.94, 2-0 record, 6 A's, 52 innings, 65 strikeouts. Other than that, if you can get Arnold out, if you can get to him and get him out, the rest of they do not have anyone else on that team under a 4.24 ERA on it. I look back at the Clemson series earlier. Yes, this was earlier. Florida State had 2 big leads, very big leads, 2 days in a row. Clemson fought back and won both of those games on it. So if they can get to, again, I'm not taking anything from Arnold. He's nasty. He's mean. He's got some great stuff, and they're going to have their work cut out for them. But the way they've been hitting left-handers, this may not make sense, but I feel like, obviously with right-handers seeing that slider, being patient with it, making him make the mistake with it. I feel Tennessee's left-handed batters hit left-handed pitching better at times than their right-handed hitters hit right-handed pitching, if that makes any sense. Now, your guys like Christian Moore can hit whomever. Billy Amick, for the most part, yeah, I feel like Billy Amick's a better hitter against left-handed pitching. But, you get lefty on lefty, righty on righty. I feel like Tennessee's left-handed hitters are able to make things happen more because I feel like Burke, Dreiling, Tears, all these guys, especially Burke, Dreiling. I think Bargo's probably in that lineup. He's a good guy to go the opposite way as well. Tears can. We've seen Tears do it. I feel like those guys are able to spread it around better than, say, your right-handed dudes are. But, this ballpark will play into being able to hit that gap the opposite way. That'll be a big thing for Tennessee to be able to do. Looking at Florida State's hitters, I mean, they They can hit. This will be a very good offense. I mean, you just saw a very good offense in Evansville. You're going to see an even better one in Florida State. This team, their team batting average is 316. They've hit 123 home runs, 64 stolen bases, and 74 attempts. So they don't steal a ton, but they do have some guys that can hit. Cam Smith's their guy. They have a couple potential first rounders. Cam Smith, James Tibbs the third. Smith's 402, 16 bombs, 56 ribbies. James Tibbs the third, 374, 28 home runs, 94 RBIs. That's a hell of a season right there, guys. Marco, I've not watched Florida State so I hate mispronouncing names, but I've not watched them either. Marco Dings or Dinges. I'm not sure which it is. It may not be either, but 15 home runs, 66 RBIs. Jamie Farrer, 19 and 58. They got Daniel Cantu, 311 average, 8 home runs, 40 RBIs. Max Williams, 301, 13 home runs, 43 RBIs. Now you get on down to it. Drew Farrow, 294. Alex Lodis, 276. Jackson West, 263. And then you kind of get a little bit more on it down into it, guys who maybe don't play as much, but they still have, a guy like Cal Fisher, 277, 5 home runs. So, again, it's a lineup that can hit. It's a team with an ace pitcher who can be that shutdown guy. It's a team with an excellent closer, a guy who can shut it down. Tennessee's worst case, I think you allow Arnold to go 6 or 7 innings, and then they turn it over to Oxford. That'll be that means that could mean a couple things. It's a low scoring game, or it's close enough where we get into that point in the game and Florida State's trying to lock it down. So Tennessee's going to have to they're going to have to make Arnold make mistakes. He has a pretty nasty slider from what I've seen, watching highlights of him against Virginia specifically, where he was hitting mid-90s on it. And then, most of his strikeouts were with that slider, or that's what it looked like to me he's throwing, was a slider. But the key to me for Tennessee to have success in Omaha is to get out of the gate fast. And what I mean by that is not necessarily come out and score runs in the first inning. It's to win game one. I'm not saying if they don't win game one, that they'll go out quick or anything like that. But I think for them to change their fortunes, to change, what's happened over their time there, that Tennessee needs to get out and get that win in the first game. Now, if they win that one, could Florida State come back and double dip them later on? Sure, absolutely. I mean, anybody's going to be beatable on any night right now, okay? I think every team there, including Tennessee, is going to have flaws. I still like this team. I like their makeup. I like where they're at. I love Tony Vitello's rant the other night that he went off on it, took up for his guys, talked about that team with it. I released a video on that last night talking about it, and disregard what I said about the College Baseball World Series not always being double elimination, because screwed up. I screwed up on it. It is double elimination for sure. Best of 3 if you get to that championship series. For me, Tennessee, I think, to me, the most dangerous team in the field outside of Tennessee right now is Florida. Florida's a team. I mean, D1 baseball had them number 2 preseason. Florida has rolled through. Now, they did get a loss in the Stillwater region. They come back and won that, but then they come back and won at the Clemson Regional 2-0 last weekend. Florida is playing their best baseball at the best time of the year. Kentucky, A&M, NC State, though, that's this is a bunch of good teams. Let's make no mistake about it, as it should be. And, Tennessee's on the ACC invitational side of things. We'll see how it goes with ACC champ North Carolina. And then you got Virginia, who was up there as well. It's a brutal tournament. This is what college baseball is all about. It should be fun. It should be awesome. For me, though, Tennessee gets out of the gate. I like their chances as to where they're at with it. But I'm going to wrap up on that one, guys. Make sure you like, you share, you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, picked up quite a few subs this week. We're going to keep rolling with baseball coverage. I have some stuff later on in the week as well, kind of take a more of a broad look at Tennessee's side of the equation, because they're going to see Virginia or North Carolina, if not both of them, at some point. So I'll take a look at that as well. But, of course, I released a video last night talking about AJ Russell season ending. Tommy John could be Tennessee career ending. When I say that, I mean he may not pitch again for Tennessee. I can see a team, an Atlanta Braves type, they're not scared of Tommy John that can take that will take him high enough that'll make him sign next summer. So career over? No, absolutely not. He'll pitch again. I have my doubts that it'll be for Tennessee, as I feel that, it's going to take all of next year to recover. And then I feel he'll be drafted and he'll move on to the pros at that point. But, thank you guys for your support. Have a great rest of your evening. My name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. And last but most certainly not least, go Vols.
Everyone rejects me.